As many will have noticed, Erling Haaland scored 5 goals against Luton Town in the FA Cup last Wednesday. Of course, he wasn't the only player to score 5 goals in one match. So my friends, these are our top 3 best performances from one single player who scored 5 goals in one match. At number 3, we have a performance which perfectly reflects the best year ever by a footballer. Lionel Messi against Bayer Leverkusen 2012 second leg of the Champions League round of 16 at Camp Nou. What Messi did to Leverkusen here was simply unfair. The first leg in Leverkusen ended 3-1 in favor of Barca, which meant Leverkusen almost needed a miracle to somehow win against prime Barcelona, and especially prime Messi. But the miracle didn't happen, and the disaster arrived. Barca dominated Leverkusen right from the start, and after 2 good chances from Barca, it happened. Xavi played a dream pass perfectly to Messi, who sprinted forward and chipped the ball over Leno from 13 meters. Messi's first goal. 4 more would follow. Shortly before the break, Iniesta passes to Messi, just outside the 6-yard box. Messi moved forward and left 6 Leverkusen players standing, before finishing into the bottom left corner. In the second half, everything took its course. In the 50th minute, Fabregas sent Messi, who skillfully received the ball, whipped off his opponent and bet Leno for the second time that evening with a chip. Then Tello scored the 4th goal only 6 minutes later, whereupon Messi scored his 4th goal 2 minutes later after 2 Leverkusen defenders obstructed themselves and Leno let the ball bounce directly in front of Messi's feet. Leverkusen had nothing more to do. After Tello scored his 2nd goal, Messi skillfully scored his 5th goal from 17 meters into the bottom left corner. The game ended 7-1 after Leverkusen scored the honorable goal in stoppage time. Messi finished the year with a staggering 91 goals, the Ballon d'Or and all the other individual awards you can win in football. If you enjoyed the video so far, take these 2 seconds. Like the video and smash the subscribe button. We will soon have 200 subscribers. We thank you for that. Is he human or is he more of a cyborg? That's probably what the most football fans have thought at some point in Erling Haaland's young career. But after this performance, at the latest, everyone should have asked themselves the question. On the 2nd place is not the game against Luton, which we mentioned at the beginning of the video. No, it's the 2nd leg of the round of 16 of the 2022-23 Champions League. City vs Leipzig. After a 1-1 in the first leg in Leipzig, most football fans were looking forward to the 2nd leg, but didn't really expect Leipzig to beat the big favourites City at home. But only a few expected was 5 goals in 35 minutes from Haaland. Manchester City dominated from the first minute while Leipzig looked very unfocused, and after 20 minutes they were punished. After a handball, City were awarded a penalty, which Haaland converted to make it 1-0, the starting signal for the Haaland show. Goal number 2 followed after exactly 1 minute and 17 seconds. After De Bruyne's long shot hit the crossbar, Haaland was in the right place to head into the empty net. Shortly before the break, Diaz headed the ball against the inside of the post after a corner. Haaland pushed the ball over the line before it was cleared by a Leipzig defender. Goal number 3. After the break, City continued exactly as before. Gündoğan made it 4-0 and shortly afterwards the next goal was scored. After a corner, Bernardo Silva headed the ball towards Haaland, who first headed the ball against the post, but converted the follow-up shot. 3 minutes later, Haaland's last goal of the evening. Mahrez delivered a dangerous cross to the Leipzig goalkeeper, who let it bounce forward. And who was standing there? Exactly, Haaland, who mercilessly volleyed the ball into the net. A few minutes later, however, Pep substituted Haaland, to the surprise of many fans. Maybe because Haaland still needed a goal to break a certain Lionel Messi's record of 5 goals in a Champions League game. Well, Messi is probably still Guardiola's favourite. Man City won the game with 7-0. The last, and therefore the best performance in our list is, as many probably expected, from Robert Lewandowski.
Robert Lewandowski.
5 goals in 9 minutes. Simply incredible. On the 6th match day of the Bundesliga 2015-16, Bayern Munich were 1-0 down against Wolfsburg. Of course, coach Pep Guardiola didn't like that at all, and at the break he substituted Robert Lewandowski. Probably the best substitution in football history. And yes, you heard right. Pep is for the 3rd time the coach in our list. But back to Lewandowski, because after just less than 5 minutes, Lewandowski started. After a double pass from Müller and Vidal, Müller misplaced the ball, but Lewandowski stood there and scored the 1-1. 1 minute later, he slammed the ball into the bottom left corner from 20 meters out. 3 minutes later, Götze crossed the ball into the penalty area for Lewandowski, who first hit the post, then Benaglio, and then, at the 3rd attempt, scored in the goal to complete the fastest Bundesliga hat-trick in 3.19 minutes. But he wasn't satisfied with that. 2 minutes later, Douglas Costa crossed the ball into the penalty area, where Lewandowski was perfectly positioned and slammed the ball into the net. As they say, the best comes last, a phrase the Pole had taken to heart. In the 60th minute, Götze crossed from the right to the inside, where Lewandowski took an irresistible overhead kick from 13 meters out and fired the ball powerfully into the left-hand corner. 5-1. The Robert Lewandowski show broke all records and demolished a denuded Wolfsburg team to the ground. For all Ronaldo fans, before you criticize us in the comments, we haven't forgotten that Ronaldo also scored 5 goals in one game, in La Liga against Granada, in a 9-1 win, to be precise. But it wasn't in such a short space of time, and not in an important game either. Besides, Sergio Aguero also deserved to be in the list with 5 goals against Newcastle, maybe even more than Haaland. If you think we have forgotten to mention another player or think Ronaldo or Aguero deserve a place in our top 3, let us know in the comments. See you.